Ladies and gamers, my name is BelleNOiR, welcome to BelleNOiRtv, and you are watching Cast My Game episode 10 right now. And here we are. The Jubilee number 10, can you believe it? It took us only 2.5 weeks to get here. Yes, and as I announced the previous episode, we are going to be doing only 3 replays. That's number 3 right here. Only 3 replays, not 4, because first, it takes a little bit longer to cast 4 games than I had anticipated. Second, I'm running out of replays. So if you do have a replay of a 1v1, a master versus a master, approximately 20 minutes long, can be 10 minutes, can be 30 minutes. But please don't send me like hour-long games. I will not cast those unless they're absolutely awesome, epic. So, what is this show about for the guys that are new here? This is a show where I cast your replays that you sent me. So, if you do have the replays, send them to BelleNOiR@sysnam.cz, the email address right below there, with the title Cast My Game. Please do include a short description. Most important thing to note, you should probably indicate which of the players is you, because otherwise it might be kind of hard to tell for me. And a short description of what roughly transpired in the game. And also, if you have any, I don't know, if you're a member of a team, if you have a website, a Twitter, a stream, a Facebook page, you want me to give shoutouts, please do include that one as well, and I will shout you out, I promise. So that's for the introductions. Now, since we don't have that many replays left, I have about 65 to 70 replays in total, and I have already casted more than a half of them. And trust me, not all of those replays are worthy of casting. Now, for example, I have totally run out of any ZVT/TvZ replays. I have 0 ZVT to cast. And 0 PvP. I just don't have them. I casted every single one of them. So, what we're going to transition into from this awesome opening is going to be today's plan. And today's plan is we will pick 2 races, cast their mirror matchups, and then see how they do versus one another. Right? Okay, it doesn't sound like much of a plan, but it's what we're gonna do. It's what we're gonna do, guys. Keep calm and build probes. Yeah. So, since I have already said that I'm totally out of PvP replays, I am out of TvZ/ZVT replays, that leaves us with an uncomfortable notion. So, today I'm gonna be casting a TvT, a PvP, and then a PvT. So, let us start with the PvP first. That should be over quickly, shouldn't it? And before I do, just let me bring your attention to the it's kind of hard to aim my finger. Right there at the top. There. God damn it. You see the news announcement. It's about the upcoming Followers Tournament number 8, which is going to be broadcasted and played this Saturday, May 18th at 4 p.m. Central European Summer Time. We are going to be featured on Team Liquid. If you would like to play, sign-ups are still open until tomorrow midnight. So if you want to sign up, you can. Just be sure to read what are the requirements in order to sign up. If you look below the streaming window, way down into the info panel, you will find a link that will point you to the corresponding Team Liquid thread that is about this tournament, and there you will find all the information you need. So please don't ask in the stream chat, because like, if you can read, trust me, everything's there. So yeah, Just to mention, it's for over $100 prize pool. Wanna win some of that esport money? Go for it. And without further ado, we are going to go into the first match of today. Like I said, it is going to be a PvP, and this is going to be Emperor versus Hank on Whirlwind. I think I have not cast this replay yet, so it should be fine. Okay, so as I need to I'll do it next game. So we do have in the upper right corner the Emperor, the red Protoss player by the name of from clan Aposis, and his opponent is going to be the blue Protoss Hank, spawning in the top left. And excuse me while I change a bunch of settings here, because I was playing StarCraft after more than 2 weeks. Oops, I messed that one up. I want to have this to set to damaged. So I did end up playing StarCraft yesterday, almost the whole afternoon, and some more games in the evening. I haven't played for more than 14 days, which, you know, kind of shows. What do you mean, what about the timetable? What's timetable? Okay, so we are seeing a 12 gate here from actually it's a 13 gate here from Emperor. A slightly more delayed gate for Hank. Must have forgotten about it. Opting not to scout, of course. In the current metagame, almost nobody scouts after pylon or after gateway at all. Of course, on 4-player maps, you kind of want to send that scout out after your gateway, just to find out where your opponent has spawned. On 2-player maps, you don't even have to scout, but well, you scout for proxies, obviously, but beyond that, you don't actually scout. Very, very strange build here by Hank, getting an assimilator before the Cybercore, but getting it a little bit later than usual, whereas his opponent is opening up with a double gas straight up. A lot of kernel boost saved up. That is, of course, because he wanted to get that Cybercore just in time. If you kernel boost probes, you make it so that your Cybercore is delayed by a couple of seconds, and well, getting a Zod. His opponent is not getting a Zod. He's going to be opening with 3 Stalkers here. Pretty common opening. And, you know, I'm a little bit... It's kind of wonky that Hank is not scouting at all. Which leads me to believe that he will probably go scout with some of his attacking units. The fact that he's getting a sentry also points to him trying to tech up, or will try to tech up in the near future. Only 4 probes in gas here for Emperor. That is interesting as well. I'm just waiting for the tech to come down for Hank, and there is the robotic facility, so he will opt to scout with his observer, and that is a very, very, very greedy play, I have to say. You usually... I mean, he doesn't look at his vision, he doesn't even know where his opponent is yet. He's just securing his own base. He's going to be playing very, very defensively. This early sentry also means that it will have 2 force fields available almost by the time any sort of push would come from his opponent's Emperor here, who is just scouting for proxy pylons before he moves out of the base. He is getting a... Okay, so he is going to be going for a 3-gate aggression, putting 6 probes on gas, as he is saturated on the minerals almost. So he's going to be pushing with 5 Stalkers, as Hank is expanding this. You know, Hank will probably end up having to cancel his expansion. The warp gate is almost done for Emperor. The Stalkers number 4 and 5 pop out. The pylon is not going to be taken out. And he will get the Zealot as well. Force Field will have to come down very, very shortly here. He has to be careful not to let that sentry be picked off. And, you know, he just does not have units to deal with this. There is a proxy pylon allowing a full warping of units. Oh, Mothership Core has to be careful as well. Nice force field going down, trapping one of those Stalkers. Mothership Core getting vision. That was a little bit waste of an energy. It's not like he can make use of the units being time warped, but even more great force fields coming out of Hank. That sentry might end up getting picked off. Yes, it does, but there's an Immortal out right now, and that will make Emperor think twice about attacking. He should be able to push this back, though, with the Zealot reinforcements. The Immortal basically can get focused down, and the Nexus has been cancelled. And behind this, we see that Emperor is getting a Stargate. Well, Hank not in the best spot ever. He could counterattack at this point if he adds on additional gateways, which is what he is doing. Maybe he's afraid this is some kind of a 4 warp gate attack. But if that were the case, we would see many more units here. So maybe he doesn't realize that this is just coming off 3 gateways, and Emperor, well, he's just force fielding and he's going to back off. Hank still... Okay, so right now he gets a very good scout here. He does see the Stargate, so he knows what is coming, and usually when you see a Stargate just finishing, and you do have the Robo already up, and I think he saw the expansion as well, yeah. So his expansion was cancelled, he has to go for an attack. It would be very, very unwise for him to expand at this point in time. He is continuing to make probes, which is a mistake in my opinion as well. He should just leave 2 Stalkers back home, or maybe even a... Yeah, well... Take his Mothership Core with him and leave 2 Stalkers back home in case an Oracle comes out, but he should have seen that it is going to be a Void Ray. Remember, in a Stargate, if you look very closely, you can see what kind of unit is coming out of it, and we see that it is going to be a Void Ray. And he is going to attack. Now, is the defense for Emperor going to be good enough to hold this off? He still does have this one proxy pylon here as the Nexus is finishing up. So he can counterattack if he wants to. Looks like Emperor, excuse me, it looks like Hank wants to be doing 2 things at the same time. He wants to be re-expanding over to here and attacking at the same time. Not the wisest choice. There he activates the Guardian Shield prematurely a little bit, and he has to move into the face of all those units. If he focuses down the Void Ray and then uses the Immortals to kill the Stalkers, it should be all good, but no. There are still 2 Zealots remaining, and this is what I've been talking about. If he was going full out for an attack, he should have had some Zealots with him, and those have only just now been warped in. He has to go in very, very soon now, because if 2 Void Rays... Oh, excuse me, there already are 2 Void Rays. Okay, this is going to be really hard for him to break. He needs another warping of Stalkers, but he is warping sentries. He doesn't have enough minerals for this, and as soon as he sees those 2 Void Rays, he is going to back off, because there's no way he can beat this army. He just does not have the anti-air for it, and without the Mothership Core, he might even get completely annihilated here, as Emperor's army is chasing after those Immortals. Those Immortals can't get away too comfortably. Meanwhile, Hank is getting an expansion of his own. He should really be getting a Stargate as well, or go for Storm straight up, because you know, he won't be able to kill those Void Rays, and we do have 2 Void Rays in this army. 3rd one is on the way, and Emperor is thinking of counterattacking. This is not going to be very good for Hank. He also slipped on his macro a little bit, missed a couple of warpins. There we go, countering with the Stargate, but he's never going to have enough Void Rays unless his opponent stops producing them. And well, 2 Void Rays do go in, trying to take out the Stalkers ASAP, losing 1 Void Ray very, very quickly. A Time Warp in exchange for a Mothership Core does go down. All the Stalkers have been killed by the Immortals, and the Void Rays fall as well. This attack is not going that well for Emperor, actually. Hank might be able to kill this off if he warps in more Zealots. There we go, but a beautiful force field on the ramp, preventing him from saving his own Nexus. Third Void Ray making an appearance on the field of battle. This Nexus is going to go down unless Emperor misses some of those force fields, and that puts him in a commanding position here. Very unlikely that Hank will be able to turn this game around from this point. Oh, this is just so frustrating for him. But the good thing is the Void Ray count is almost even. But now the Oracle will come into play, and probably Emperor is thinking, hey, I dealt a pretty heavy blow to you right now, so let me just increase my lead even further. I'm going to pull back and prevent you from moving out by sending an Oracle back to your base. Let's look at what the probe count is. 22 versus 44, and 10 workers killed by Emperor. No probes have been killed here, which means really that Hank has not been producing those probes for a long time. Oh, those Stokers were very lucky. There wasn't enough energy for a third force field at the time. A nice little engagement here, picking off a Stoker and a Sentry. Beautiful force fields for Hank, trapping a couple of those Zealots. That, of course, plays into his cards a little bit, but I really do think with the 100 energy on this Mothership Core, Nexus Cannon being activated, and more Warpins, 2 Void Rays, not enough anti-air, again, to take those out too quickly. Miss-microing a little bit there on both sides, actually. This Void Ray will get taken out. And, you know, I mean, I think Hank took a couple of fights, which he retreated from, where I think he could have won those fights, and he just retreated prematurely and lost units because of that. Because this was one of those fights, and the fights at his Nexus one was one of the other. He could have made a Warpin back here, not retreating up the ramp, and he would have saved his Nexus actually, because the Void Rays were all dead. And there's the GG. Without an expansion, Hank knows he cannot continue in this game. Emperor having too big of an advantage. Let's go into the second game, guys. Going to be a TvT. It's going to be Matsor versus 1T on Daybreak. Hope you're enjoying the cast so far. Of course, WCS should be on as well, so... Alright. Here in the bottom left, we do have We Wanna Win Clan Matsor in the grubby colors, which of course are green. And his opponent is going to be Isuba Academy 1T, the blue Terran, up here in the top right. So this was played before the ladder map pool was adjusted by Blizzard. Excuse me while I take a sip of my coffee. So the Daybreak was still in. Most probably this is not even from a ladder. This is probably taken from a clan war. I don't remember actually. But I know how Matt plays. I know he is a very competent player. I know he likes to get aggressive in his TvTs. He's been doing a lot of drop action back in the Wings of Liberty, a lot. And you know, one of his trademarks is, I mean, for the league he is in, one of the trademarks of Matsor's play is how cost efficient he can be with small groups of units being dropped here and there, you know, during harassment. So, you know, he really knows when to back off, when to attack, how long he can stay with a drop inside his enemy's base. Sometimes he oversteps his bounds a little bit, but overall, he's a pretty solid player and very aggressively minded when it comes to TVX matchups. He used to play Zerg before as well. So, you know, his APM and his macro mechanics are quite good. We can already see that he's pulling ahead slightly in front of Wanty there. Of course, some of this is just spam, but yep. He's pretty good. That's what I wanted to say. First Reaper coming out from Matt. Of course, he did get that 12 gas to be able to build that Reaper straight up. And Wanty just going with a sort of a normal opening. No Reapers, so probably we'll be getting a factory after this. Yes, you did check that there's a wall off and nothing else. So, you know, this can make you a little bit unsure. Of course, it is going to be most probably taken out by this Reaper. No! The Reaper heading straight into the base, and the SCV did see it. So the Marines should be in position over here. Or over here as well. So we have an expansion going down for Wanty. Both players getting reactors and expansions as well. Reaper is going to get a nice scout, maybe one SCV or two SCVs here or there. Not really looking like it. Nice micro by Matt, avoiding both those Marines. The third one is about to pop out. He has to be careful with that. Reaper does not want to lose it. And he backs away. He backs away, okay. So a factory going down, so probably going to be following this up with Hellions. Unless we do see a very fast factory, in which case it can be rather quick Hellbat drops. Did I say factory? I meant armory. If I said factory, I apologize. So everything looking pretty standard. It also looks like Matt wants to be adding additional barracks very soon here, because he's stockpiling a lot of minerals. Or maybe he's going to go. That would be a really wonky play, but he can go for a Stargate and a third command center if he so chooses. But very similar openings here from both of these guys. Both of them getting Hellions and starports. So, you know, very similar play. Apart from the opening Reaper versus opening with Marines, this is basically this play is identical. So we can make a couple of comparisons. We see that Matsor is a little bit ahead in food, just a little tad bit. He's also ahead on workers just by one SCV. But you know, in these leagues in the Master League, it makes a whole lot of difference. If you can be ahead by one worker for 2 minutes, and then ahead by 2 workers for another minute, and then by 4 workers for another minute, because you know the advantage, of course, compounds. Now Matt's having more Hellions out on the map than Wanty currently has, so Wanty having to retreat and regroup with his other 2, and of course that is going to put him at an advantage in a fight. And also he can defend with his Marines, so Matsor is going to poke up, probably not looking to pick a fight. He just wants to secure his natural expansion as much as he can. Just poking up, seeing how many forces there are. He's just going to be retreating back from here. He sees quite a bit of Marines, a couple of Hellions, so he knows that his opponent has a decent defending force. And decides, as a result of that, to drop instead of just attacking frontally. He's going to go into the main base. No Vikings around yet, no missile turrets, and he is going to drop some of those Widow Mines. Instant pullback by Wanty, scanning and taking care of that Widow Mine, but another drop will be offloaded into the natural, and very nice placement here by the Widow Mine, but it does detonate prematurely. Matt was kind of hoping it would detonate on the Hellions or the Marines, but it did detonate on the SCV and gained 1 kill for itself. Meanwhile, both players macroing up, Matt getting additional barracks, and there's a drop in his base as well, but this is just Marines, and he will have no trouble absolutely whatsoever dealing with this. And the drop in Wanty's base is still kind of alive. Where did that Medvedev go? Oh, here we go. Here it is. Still having 1 Marine there. This Widow Mine finally been taken out. Been causing a little bit of trouble there for Wanty. And we can see as a result of this harassment, Matt is already pulling ahead in the supply count, 74 to 49. This is what I said at the start. He's a very competent macro player and a great aggressive harassment player, and he knows how long he can stay, when to pick up, when to drop again, how to go around, because he's been practicing this style of play for a long time. And look at this, he's going in yet again. just non-stop aggression, non-stop harassment out of Matt Storm. He's also kind of secured versus drops himself. But now with this missile turret by Wanty, Matt is going to be have a little bit of a harder time approaching this missile turret. Not in the best position though, allowing that medevac to get past it, and 4 Hellions getting dropped. Unfortunately, they're really low on health, so they can't get too many SCV kills, but already 8 SCVs have been killed by Matt. So this is really good for him, and it looks like he's poised to attack the front at the same time. There's a tank, however, so Wanty should be reasonably safe here. Look at the maneuvering, the positioning by Matt. And he knows the army is positioning itself defensively at the natural, so he's dropping inside the main yet again, but there are a couple of Hellions to clean that one up. But overall, very nice trades for Matt. Resources lost look approximately the same, but that's not the whole story. The whole story is here. Workers killed Tab. This is what allows Matt to take a reasonably fast third base as well. And he's getting a factory, so probably will be getting those Hellbats, which, you know, is a thing most... or maybe not, maybe it's just for the tank upgrades. Because it doesn't look like he has additional factories anywhere. Usually when you want to be getting Hellbats, you want to have 2 factories. Matt controlling the expansion timing of his opponent quite nicely. Wanty is trying to go for the counter-attack. He probably wants to make sure this third never gets up, since he doesn't have his third up. Matt preventing that quite nicely. Upgrade-wise, we see that the game is in favor of Matt, but he does not have Stimpack yet. It is going to finish, and that puts him at an advantage. Him being 1-1 and his opponent only being 1-0. And there we see the boost. A little bit needless use of boost, since he ended up dropping at the 3rd location. And now the worker killed count will get even for sure, even putting Wanty ahead in this regard. Those medevacs will get sniped out, or should be sniped off. There we go. That means this drop is going to absolutely get annihilated. Matt's controlling really nicely there. Wanty maybe not having the APM, maybe being preoccupied by something else. This SCV getting an epileptic seizure right here, not being able to cross those minerals. Poor guy, he should take some medicine. Nevertheless, 3rd command center and a 2nd engineering bay going down for Wanty. He's quite behind on upgrades, I have to say. Matt already upgrading Alpha 2 engineering base. He is getting level 2 and level 2 attack and armor. Let's see, how are we looking at the tank count front? The tank count being reasonably even between these 2 guys. Wanty going for a big drop here into the main. Has to be careful not to lose that medevac. He does manage to drop off 2 tanks, and this is not looking good for Matt, at least for the time being, because his army is completely out of position at the same time. Wanty desperately trying to establish his 3rd base here, and he does kill that force that has been preventing him to do so. Meanwhile, the drop at Matt's main has been cleared up, and he does drop Wanty's natural, as we can see right here. Workers kill Tab quite even. The food supply, though, is heavily in favor of Matt, and this is going to mean that he has more workers, he has more army. Like I said, he's a very competent macro player while still being able to be aggressive. Now, of course, the most important thing is getting this planetary up here in the center. Once you get the center position, it's really hard to dislodge you from there. But Matt, look at this, such an aggressive player, going for a move out yet again. He probably realizes, if he clicked on Wanty's units at least once, he probably realizes that Wanty is behind in upgrades, only just now getting 2-2. And Matt already has his done, already 3-3 on the way. 1 medevac getting sniped, 2nd one getting sniped as well. Huge pickup for Matt, and Wanty says ... QQ. Tanks are sieged up. This Marine Force for Wanty will not live long. Blasted to smithereens. There's the GG by Wanty. Very nice game. Solid play from Matt. Really, Isuba should hire him. And give him money. really, I mean, I've known Matt for the past 2 years, and I'm not saying this because I know him. I'm not saying this because I'm his friend, but I really do think that he's one of the more talented players on the Czech scene. A hard worker. I remember when we were both in like mid-platinum or something like that, and we're training together. He never stops until he finds a solution. For example, he played Terran before he switched to Zerg, and he was having huge trouble versus Protoss. He could not deal with Colossi-based armies. You know, you have to remember that a year and a half back the maps were a lot smaller, and he always got like into a bad position, or just all of his Marines got just fried. And we were practicing and practicing and practicing until he started beating me. He just never stops until he finds a solution. That's a trait sadly most of the players don't have. Very nice work ethic. So, now that we have seen both mirrors from both the races, a TvT and a PvP, we're going to go into a TvP right now. And the TvP is going to be on Whirlwind. It is going to be Zes versus Smoop City. Before we do go into the final game, just a reminder, guys, if you scroll below the streaming window, if you're watching from Twitch, you will find an info tab. The first panel in the info tab informs you about the upcoming Followers Tournament number 8, which is this Saturday, May 18th, 4 p.m. CEST here on BelleNOiRtv. It's a $108 prize pool tournament for 16 players who, of course, should be fans of the stream or should be following the stream or the stream's Twitter. Otherwise, you can't get in. If you want to sign up, click on the Team Liquid thread. On the link that will point you to Team Liquid thread that is associated with this event, and you can still sign up. Sign-ups are open until tomorrow midnight, after which I will be closing the sign-ups, generating the brackets, seeding the players, etc., 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 all that good stuff. And yeah, we go live 4 p.m. Saturday. Looking forward to this. And guess what? We're gonna have a co-caster, Pewee from Insomnia from the UK, agrees to co-cast this with me. You might have seen Pewee casting the Insomnia 46 and 47 StarCraft tournaments, and also a couple of ESET UK games last year, I think, and also a couple of WCS qualifier games, including Grubby and all those other players. But I think he got most viewers for casting the games of Grubby on his stream. He's a pretty good caster. I've casted with him before, and I'm definitely looking forward to cast with him again. It's been quite a while, actually. I think the last gig we did together was like April 16th, something like that, for Adroid's StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm Open. So, that's that. Let's go into this TvP. By the way, I'm going into all of these replays today blindly. I have not seen them because I did not have even time to select them. So these are just haphazardly picked, depending on the length and the matchup. And I did not even send out the emails, for which I apologize, but I was really pressed for time today. So I literally came from work 25 minutes before the broadcast, and I had to go in immediately, so I just, picked 3 replays, and here we go. On Whirlwind, in the bottom right, we do have the red Terran Zes. Opposing him diagonally will be the blue Protoss Smoop City. Now, currently in this matchup, what the Protoss players tend to be doing is expanding rather quickly, not getting any units, and getting a mothership core, and being very greedy. Because with the mothership core, you can defend Reapers. It starts gathering up energy, so once the expansion finishes, you have a photon cannon at your disposal. So if you actually go for something like a quick expansion into a second gate and a forge. Yes, you heard me correctly, and a forge, and just get sentries behind this. You're going to be in a pretty good shape. If you see an attack might be coming, you just put a cannon at your expansion. If you sense a Widow Mine drop, you put cannons at both your expansions behind the mineral lines. And if it's a ground-based attack, you just have your photon cannon near the ramp. You have the photon overcharge on the mothership core. You probably will have time warp available as well, and you have 4 sentries full of energy. And Terrans have been raging about it, you know. Terrans have been raging because they don't want Protosses to get greedy. Why? Because you can get very fast Colossi, because you can get very fast double upgrades, because you can get very fast almost everything. What's this? We have a pretty sneaky probe here. What the... Oh, and that SCV is just scouting for the opposing player's position. Meanwhile, it looks like Zaz is going to go for some kind of tech. He is getting a gas after his barracks. Oh, goodness. Is he going to go for a 3 racks? Or a 2 racks at least? He does have enough for an add-on once this Marine finishes. I'm really interested to see. What ends up being built. Okay, 2 additional racks. This definitely looks like a 1 base all-in, a 3 racks build. Good old Wings of Liberty build. Oh, and this looks like DTs? Oh, he locked his probe in there, so that's why he had to rebuild the Twilight Council. Okay, so a hidden Twilight Council, probably for DTs. It can still be Blink, you know, but the sole fact that he's getting the Zealot, more likely than not, points to the fact that it is going to be DTs. A 4th Rax going down for the Terran player. This is as all in as you can get. Okay, so my estimate here is he will get Stim, and then he'll have 4 racks worth of production of Marines. Even getting a tech lab. Okay, so he's not going to be all Marines here. He's going to be getting Marauders as well. He does have this one SCV. There, and we do see the Dark Shrine coming down, as well as the Robotics Facility. Okay, that's a little bit weird. If this is a 1 base play, which so far it doesn't look like being a 1 base play, it's a really weird one. Now, considering Smoop City has not scouted his opponent, he wanted to, but there's a wall off, so the probe ended up being here. He does select it though, and probably assumes that, yeah, there is a full wall off, so I'm just going to build a pylon here. Dark Shrine still having 40 seconds to finish. Maybe he wants to go with a DT drop. It would time out, well, almost okay. Yeah, there is the War Prism. He's going to go for a DT drop. That is a play I have not seen in quite a while. Couple of American Protoss players have been doing this recently. One of those being Solid Bales, a guy that has played recently in the WCS NA qualifiers in the Challenger League. Actually made it through. I don't know if he at least made it through some of his matches. I don't know if he ended up qualifying for the Premier League, but I definitely did see his name there. Actually, I think his matches were broadcasted just yesterday or day before yesterday, so I probably should check. Stimpack almost being done. Combat shields as well. Nicely lining up for both of these guys, but the DTs are making their way. Oh, he does see the shimmer. Does see the blur. Does not lift the supply depot though, and a whole lot of SCVs are going to go down. He does have enough for the scan, but he needs to pull his army back. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He's halfway across the map. He's going for a base race here. Oh my goodness. If the Protoss warps and sentries, he can stay alive because there are no medevacs. And he will be in such a good position. These DTs wreaking havoc in the Terran base, forcing the CC to lift off, which means there is no scan. The CC has to land. Those DTs have to prevent that CC from landing, but the CC does land. It does scan, which means the main base of the Protoss will be destroyed. That preventing that scan was the only thing that Smoop City could have done to win this game, or one of the things he could have done to win this game. Is he actually going to take out this command center? It actually looks like it. Oh my goodness, the command center is down. That was the only option of detection for Zes. And I am really unhappy right now because, you know, the probe line was decimated for Smoop City. And by the looks of it, this is going to end up in a draw. Just because of the fact that there is no Stargate anywhere. If he actually builds a Stargate somewhere, does he have a probe anywhere? He does have. Let us see. Yeah, he does have a probe here. If he builds a Stargate, he will have enough for a Phoenix. Will he actually do it? Because the Terran cannot mine anything. Does he have any DTs? Yes, he does have DTs out on the field. DTs can take care of the ground army. If he builds a Stargate, he's not building anything. If he builds a Stargate and a Phoenix, that Phoenix slowly but surely will be able to kill all the potentially flying buildings, and the DTs will take care of the ground army. The Terran has nowhere to escape with the ground army, and once all the Marines are gone, the Protoss has this in the bag. He's not doing it. Why you no-build Stargate, dude? Come on. Activate your brain, please. Do it. Okay, so we have 4 Marines that can't be healed. Those Marines are going to look across the map. If he would just build a Stargate here. If he would just build a Stargate here. Oh, wait a minute. He's at 275. Okay, so he wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't be able to get a Void Ray. Phoenixes are 150 as well, I think. If I remember correctly, so okay, so he can't. Wait, he is getting something. Oh, he's getting a Nexus. He might actually win this, you know. What's the standing army for the Terran? 4 Marines versus 3 and 0 SCVs, mind you, versus 3 probes, 2 DTs, and a War Prism. Where are those DTs? One is in the main base. One is killing the buildings here slowly off. And the Terran, I think he does know, yeah, because the Protoss player was revealed. If he can keep this Nexus alive, this one DT might be able to do it, but he has to not lose probes! He can't remake the probes! No, he has to keep at least 1 probe alive! Will it get away? Please, please get away! Get away! If it gets away, he will win! Oh, he will not get away. The Marine's stimming for the 2nd time. The probe really has to run for his... Oh! Okay. Got 50 more? No. Unfortunately, he doesn't. Well, this is going to end up in a draw. There is no way. There is no way. This is so unjust. This is so unjust. Look at this. The Terran is at 0 supply. He's at 0 friggin' supply. And he's not going to lose. He's not going to lose. There are 2 DTs out on the field. No way to kill the flying shit that the Terran has. And once the DTs kill all the ground structures, it's just going to be these 4 floating barracks versus 28 minerals of Smoop City. If he hid those probes elsewhere and not in the main base, or used them to block or fight together with the DTs, or just have 2 DTs in his main base, he would have been so fine. 1 probe is all he needed. To keep alive 1 probe, that's all he needed. 1 probe. If he had 1 probe surviving, he would have won the game. Jesus Christ, this is so unjust. I can't believe even having okay, getting an Archon, trying to kill those flying buildings. Well, you know what? The Terran can hide those buildings like here, and you can never hit them with an Archon. This is just 6 supply versus 0. Well, too bad you can't drop here. Is he even going to try it? Yeah. Oh, he is going to try it, but he can't drop there. The shit people do when they're frustrated. Okay, I'm just going to... This is probably going to end up in a draw, so I'm just going to speed through this. But seriously, 0 supply. How often do you see a draw like this? 0 supply of units for the Terran, and it still ends up in a draw. Yeah, I can build an observer, but not a probe. That's really retarded. That is really retarded. Jesus Christ. Yeah, you had enough for a Stargate, but you didn't have enough gas to build anything out of the Stargate. Maybe a Phoenix. But if I remember correctly, the Phoenixes are 150. Oh, he left the... Oh, no, he didn't leave the game. Oh, this is... Alright, this is so screwed up. Oh... He really wants those points. You see what this is? He just opens up the chat, types "has left the game!" exclamation mark, and basically he's trying to bait his opponent into pressing F10N just for leaving. This is a trick. He's trying to trick his opponent into leaving the game. This is... What the hell? He did it! What the fuck? He really left the game? Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ. Wait, did he actually... No, he did leave the game. It was not a trick. Because there's nothing in... Okay, so he did leave the game. Okay. Actually, I have a question. How do you tell if the message is... Let me see. How can we tell if the message is actually written? Oh, because there is an... Oh, there is an all before that. Okay. Okay. So the Protoss left the game before the Terran, giving him the points. But really, one of the most bizarre games I have ever seen. Really bizarre game. Yeah. Alright guys, this was Cast My Game episode number 10. if you like the show, please support it by tweeting about it. Hashtag CastMyGame on Twitter. Hashtag BelleNOiRtv. Like my Facebook page, BelleNOiRtv on Facebook, or follow me on Twitter, BelleNOiRtv as well. The VODs from these episodes, of course, go to my YouTube, which is, again, BelleNOiRtv. So if you want some of your friends to check that out, give them the link. There's a playlist with all the episodes that were aired. And if you do have a replay, Master versus Master, approximately 20 minutes long, which can be also 10, but it also can be 30, and you would like me to cast it, send it to BelleNOir@seznam.cz, the email address below my camera window, with the title Cast My Game. Include a short description, if you would, with your player name and roughly what transpired in the match. And I'm really looking for more replays because I'm running out. Don't tell anyone; it's a secret. But I'm running out of replays. So, and before I head off, I'm just going to put to your attention that we have a tournament this Saturday, 4 p.m. CEST, that is Central European Summertime. It's called BelleNOir Followers Tournament. This is going to be number 8. It's a $108 prize pool. If you would like to play in it, click on the link in the info panel below the streaming window. That will take you to Team Liquid. And if you do meet the requirements, you can send an email, an application, and we will put you into the player pool if you meet all the requirements. So, with that, I'm going to leave you, and until we see each other, which will be tomorrow, stay safe, good luck, have fun, and remember to storm first and ask questions fucking later.